What a time to be alive. Where were you on September 3rd? Concord died so we can live and play Space Marines 2 after a couple of days, if you bought early access. But for what? For a measly 4 days of head start? Being a man of culture, I paid myself for patience and waited until the moment to assemble a great pile of shame has come. You think I would fall victim to a publisher's predatory practice of dragging release date for days unless you're willing to pay extra? You think my faith in Empurrah will expire in a few days like a chicken fillet that we left outside of the fridge?
No, sir!
I waited for this game for a while, I can wait a little bit more. In Space Marines 2, again, like in Space Marines 1 we're playing as a Dimitrian, please do not demote my character again, Titus. Seize this moment, kid. Maybe next time it will be DI nonsense. To not spoil the plot of the campaign too much, in a few words, Titus is continuing to clean his name after paranoid accusations made by Inquisition. No, at the end of the first game. Thanks, Leandros.
And you have failed.
Okay, I have a couple of gripes with this game, but not being Insomniac curing walking simulator with unnecessary fragile feelings, crying, whinging, it's like a weight from my shoulders. I'd say Titus is a relatable character.
My craft is death.
But not because you're a space marine by yourself, but because he's just cool. He like lens that magnifies everything that 40k universe is all about. All this tense, tough, bloody, gory, over-the-top atmosphere full of badassery. All these enormous buildings, huge swarms of tyrannies, these biological battleships that hanging in the atmosphere of this doomed planet. This theme of brotherhood which hangs on a few fingers from falling into.
You should never turn your back on family.
All of this I experienced firsthand, and I was happy. I had a lot of fun. Even if you're not a fan of Warhammer or you're just like me, you played Dawn of War in mid-2000s as a kid, you still be impressed. Alright, enough fanfares to the lore and characters, let's turn to meat and potatoes of every game, and it's a gameplay. The main gameplay loop consists of grabbing, choking, stepping, grinding, shooting huge loads of bullets, and roasting.
Watch out, boys! Watch out!
Oh, and also, you'll be constantly out of ammo, and you'll be fighting with a sliver of health. At least that's true for me. But I mean, that should not be a problem, you're all grown-ass gamers with gamers' calluses. You know what they say, slow and steady wins the game. Speaking of slow, you should remember that you're playing as a 7-foot tall dude with a couple of tons of power armor. You're here not for zoomies. Your movements like boulder. You're not agile, and also you cannot hide in this game. Yes, despite the fact that 40k is unrealistic and grotesque, you cannot hide behind the tanks even. And all of this brings an appropriate feeling of weight to everything you do. You shovel through withered plants and stone benches and they just break without any effort. You fall from a height, it feels like a truck falling from a bridge. And when it comes to weapon, you feel the power in every shot, especially with bolter and heavy bolter. All of this to immerse you into the process of turning Tyranids into red pulp. Speaking of red, graphics. I should note that I'm not the ultra photorealistic graphics chaser. I like how this game looks, it looks great for me. But I have one issue with this. At the beginning of the first mission I thought to myself, it's some sort of dramatic moment, like it's a seat in which our brother used to sit and now it's empty. And then Sid starts speaking.
You served in the Death Watch? Yes. That must have been a great honor.
Like it's some sort of 1997 The Borrowers. Please don't step on him, mommy. But no, here's Gadriel, he was here all that time. After a few seconds it crossed my mind, maybe it's just the way it is. But then look at that! And I hear you say,
Well, that's because of your potato PC.
that is clearly capable of handling at least low settings of graphics. But here I am, unable to move on through the campaign because my enemy is invisible, my ally is invisible, I am invisible, and even Objective now is invisible. Should be better with AMD, am I right? Focus Entertainment. It's infuriating because usually I am phased out from a plot, I skip all cutscenes, I don't care, and it's first time in years when I'm genuinely interested in the story, and you will do that to me, game? You know what? I'm done. It's on you that I'll do part 2 when I will slog through the campaign, or Des will roll out some optimization, or I will upgrade my PC, I think. Speaking of content, I found PvP more enjoyable than PvE, which is weird for me because usually I'm leaning towards PvE content, but for some reason PvE in this game less interesting. Probably the reason behind all of this is just PvP more dynamic than PvE in this game. If it's PvE, you're just stuck in this mission and there's nothing that really holds you in this mission. It's just not interesting. Maybe because the fact that all of this is just rehashed missions from the campaign. And now let's speak about customization. Despite a wide range of emblems and colors for your heart to choose, I don't like the idea of locking chapter-specific armor behind the class. What if I want to play as a heavy but as a Night Lord? Or I want to play as an Iron Warrior but as a sniper? They will probably add some new types of customization, for example, like tentacles or cracked armor for Death Guard, or angry faced with blazing eyes berserks for World Eaters. But one worrying thing for me is they probably understand that not only modern gamers, in quotes, people who play 40k tabletop, they are already spending lots of money on their miniatures. They probably will be okay with spending extra $20-$40 for the set of armor in the style of their favorite chapter. And also, where's best looking my favorite chapter? The Emperor's Children. I will not calm down until the endless harbingers of Emperor's short-sightedness. If I would had son that painted whole his chapter as a
souteneur,
I wouldn't be surprised that he was corrupted by some demonic waifu. Okay, bye.